You just got approved for a $45,000 car loan. The dealership is celebrating with you. Your Instagram followers are going to love the new ride. You calculated the monthly payment, $687, and yeah, it's tight, but you can make it work. You're 28 years old, you make $65,000 a year, and you finally feel like you're making it. Here's the problem. You just made one of the biggest financial mistakes of your life, and you have no idea. Look, I know that sounds harsh, but stick with me for the next 20 minutes because I'm going to show you the exact math that explains why most Americans are driving themselves into poverty and they're doing it one car payment at a time. My name is Rihan, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible financial decisions with cars. If you're someone who feels like you're making decent money but somehow can't seem to get ahead, or you're stuck in a cycle of car payments that never seem to end, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. There's a very simple rule that can tell you whether your car is destroying your financial future, and almost nobody follows it. In fact, according to a 2023 study by Cox Automotive, the average new car payment in America is now $736 per month. The average used car payment? $542. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but that's just the average. Some people can afford that. And you're right, some people can. But here's what most people don't realize. If you're making the median American household income of about $74,000 a year and you're paying $736 a month for a car, you are financially broke. I don't care how it feels. I don't care what the bank approved you for. I don't care that your neighbors have nicer cars. The math says you're broke. Let me explain. There's this rule in personal finance that almost nobody talks about. Your total vehicle expenses, and I mean all of them, not just the payment, should never exceed 10% of your gross income. Some financial advisors say 15%, but honestly, in 2024, with insurance costs what they are, with gas prices, with maintenance, 10% is the actual responsible number. So let's do the math together. If you're making $65,000 a year, that's $5,417 per month gross. 10% of that is $542 per month for all vehicle costs, your payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, registration, everything. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. According to AAA, the average cost to own and operate a new vehicle is $12,182 per year. That's $1,015 per month. For the median American household making $74,000, that's 16.5% of gross income just going to a car. Do you see the problem here? Look, I get it. Cars are emotional purchases. They're one of the few things you can buy that makes you feel successful immediately. You can't show off your retirement account at a stoplight. You can't pull up to your high school reunion in a diversified investment portfolio. But here's what's really happening psychologically. Car manufacturers and dealerships have gotten incredibly good at making you focus on one number, the monthly payment. They know that if they can get you to say, I can afford $700 a month, they've got you. They don't want you thinking about the total cost. They don't want you thinking about the 72-month loan term. And they definitely don't want you thinking about what that money could have done for you instead. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you finance a $45,000 car at 7% interest over 72 months, which is the average loan term now, 6 years, you're not just paying $45,000, you're paying $54,000. That extra $9,000, that's just gone, vanished into interest. But wait, there's more. That car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. So your $45,000 car is now worth $36,000, but you owe $45,000. Congratulations, you're immediately $9,000 underwater. Now you might be thinking, okay, Rihan, but what's the actual number? When does a car cross the line from affordable to broke? Here's the formula that will change how you think about cars forever. If your car's value exceeds 50% of your annual gross income, you're in the danger zone. If it exceeds your total annual gross income, you're almost certainly broke. Let me give you some real examples. Example 1, the entry-level professional. Annual income, $50,000. Car value, $35,000. A pretty typical new Honda Accord or Toyota Camry. Percentage, 70% of annual income. Monthly payment at 7% for 60 months, $693. Insurance, under 30, $200 a month. Gas, $150 a month. Maintenance, $100 a month. Total monthly car cost is $1,143. Percentage of gross income, 27.4%. This person is broke. They might not feel broke, they're making their payments, but they're broke. Example 2, the six-figure earner. Annual income, $120,000. Car value, $75,000. A loaded BMW 5 Series or similar. Monthly payment at 6% for 60 months, $1,449. Insurance, $300 a month. Gas, $200 a month. Maintenance, $200 a month. Total monthly car cost is $2,149. Percentage of gross income, 21.5%. Even at six figures, spending over 20% of your income on a car is financial self-sabotage. Example 3, the smart play. Annual income, $75,000. Car value, $15,000. A well-maintained 5 to 7-year-old Honda or Toyota paid in cash. No payment. Insurance, $120 a month. Gas, $150 a month. Maintenance, $150 a month. Total monthly car cost is $420. Percentage of gross income, 6.7%. This is what financial freedom actually looks like. Here's what most people don't realize. The monthly payment is just the beginning. Let me break down the real cost of that $45,000 car over 5 years. Purchase price, $45,000. Interest paid, $9,000. Insurance, 5 years at $200 a month, $12,000. Gas, 5 years at $175 a month, $10,500. Maintenance and repairs, $5,000. Registration and fees, $1,500. Total cost, $83,000. Value after 5 years, $22,000. You just spent $61,000 to drive a car for 5 years. That's $1,017 per month every month for 5 years. Now, here's the thing that should make you angry. If you had instead bought a $15,000 reliable used car in cash, invested the difference in an S&P 500 index fund averaging 10% returns, and put that monthly payment difference towards investments, let's do that math. $30,000 initial difference invested grows to $48,315. $687 payment difference invested for 60 months, $53,438. Total investment value after 5 years, $101,753. You just found $101,753. It was hiding in your driveway. Look, I need to tell you something about car dealerships that they really don't want you to know. They make most of their profit on financing, not on the car itself. According to the National Automobile Dealers Association, the average dealership makes $1,200 per vehicle on the actual car sale, but $1,900 on financing and insurance products. That's why they focus so hard on what payment can you afford. They're not trying to get you into a car you can afford. They're trying to maximize their financing profit while keeping you feeling like you're in control. Here's their playbook. The 4-square method. They'll draw a box with 4 quadrants: trade-in value, new car price, down payment, and monthly payment. Then they shuffle numbers around between these boxes like a shell game until you're so confused you just sign. The payment packing. They start with a payment you agree to, then add in extras. It's only $15 more a month for the extended warranty. Over 72 months, that's $1,080 for a warranty you probably don't need. The trade-in trap. They give you a great price on your trade-in, but mark up the new car to compensate. You feel good about the trade, They make their profit anyway. The stretch. They keep extending the loan term until the payment fits your budget. 6 years, 7 years. I've seen 8-year car loans. You know what happens in 8 years? The car dies before the loan does. Here's something that blows my mind. People make more money and immediately upgrade their car thinking they can finally afford it. No. A study by the Federal Reserve found that households earning between $50,000 and $75,000 spend an average of 19% of their income on transportation. Households earning $100,000 to $150,000, they spend 17%. The difference is marginal. People just buy more expensive cars when they make more money. This is called lifestyle inflation, and cars are the worst offender. Think about it. You get a $20,000 raise. You're making $85,000 instead of $65,000. That's an extra $1,667 per month gross, probably $1,100 after taxes. What do most people do? They go buy a car that costs $300 to $400 more per month, sometimes more. They just gave themselves a raise and immediately siphoned it into a depreciating asset. Here's what you should do instead. Keep driving the same car and invest that raise. In 10 years, that $1,100 per month at 10% returns is $227,000. That's $250,000. That's not a car, that's freedom. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Your car is probably an attempt to signal success to people who don't care about you. I know, that sounds harsh, but here's the reality. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, people overestimate how much others notice and care about their possessions by about 400%. You think everyone's noticing your new BMW. The truth? They glanced at it for 3 seconds and went back to worrying about their own problems. Meanwhile, you're working an extra 5 years before retirement to pay for a car that impresses exactly nobody for any meaningful length of time. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about solutions. If you're currently in a car that's destroying your finances, here's your roadmap. Step 1. Figure out where you actually stand. Calculate this number right now. Current car value, be honest, check KBB. Amount you owe, are you underwater? By how much? Step 2. Stop the bleeding. If you're in a car you can't afford, if you're not underwater, sell it today. Get into something you can buy with cash or with a much smaller loan. If you're underwater but not buried, you might need to take the L, sell the car, roll the negative equity into a personal loan at a lower rate, and get into a cheaper car. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's better than spending the next 6 years in financial prison. If you're deeply underwater, owing $10,000 plus more than it's worth, keep the car for now, but attack that loan aggressively. Pay extra every month toward the principal. Do not trade it in. Do not refinance. Kill the loan. Step 3. Learn the 20-4-10 rule. Never break these 3 rules. 20%, put at least 20% down. 4. Finance for no more than 4 years. And 10%, total car expenses should be 10% of gross income. If you can't afford a car following these rules, you can't afford that car. Step 4. Break the car payment cycle. Here's the move that changes everything. Once you pay off your current car, keep making the payment to yourself. Put that money in a high-yield savings account labeled Car Fund. In 4 years, you'll have enough cash to buy your next car outright. And then you do it again and again. You will never have a car payment again. Let me show you this math because it's beautiful. Current payment, $500 a month. Pay off your car in 4 years. Keep paying yourself $500 a month for 4 more years. At just 4% interest in a savings account, $26,310. You can now buy a very nice used car in cash. Maybe not brand new, but something reliable, safe, and nice. And you own it. The bank owns nothing. Then you keep doing it. That $500 a month payment continues, but now you're building wealth instead of building debt. Step 5. Buy like a savvy person, not like a target. When you're ready to buy your next car, buy used, 3 to 7 years old. Look for certified pre-owned from reliable brands: Honda, Toyota, Mazda, Subaru. Get pre-approved financing from your bank or credit union before you visit a dealership. Negotiate the total price, not the monthly payment. Get your own inspection from a trusted mechanic. Walk away if something feels wrong. Let me show you two different financial futures. Same starting point, different car decisions. Path 1, the typical American. Age 25 to 65, 40 years of car ownership, buys a new $35,000 car every 6 years, always has a car payment of $550 a month. Total spent on cars over 40 years is $264,000. Total paid in interest is $76,000. Retirement savings from freed up cash, $0. Path 2, the smart play. Age 25 to 65, 40 years of car ownership, buys reliable used cars for $12,000 to $15,000 in cash every 7 years. No car payments ever after age 29. Invests the $550 a month that would have gone to payments. Total spent on cars over 40 years is $84,000. Total paid in interest is $0. Investment value at age 65 at 10% returns is $3,542,000. The difference between these two paths is $3.5 million. That's not a typo. The same person, the same income, just different car choices, ends up with $3.5 million more. Does that change your perspective on whether you need that new car? Look, here's the thing about all of this. The hardest part isn't the math. You understand the math now. The hard part is the mental shift. You have to stop seeing your car as a reflection of your success and start seeing it as a tool. Just a tool. It gets you from point A to point B safely and reliably. That's it. The real flex isn't the car in your driveway. It's the freedom in your bank account. It's being able to quit a job you hate because you're not trapped by car payments. It's retiring at 55 instead of 70. It's sleeping at night without financial anxiety. Here's what I want you to understand. Every single wealthy person I've studied, and I mean actually wealthy, not Instagram wealthy, drives a car that's less than what they could afford. Warren Buffett drove a Cadillac XTS for years and only upgraded because his daughter made him. Mark Zuckerberg drives a Honda Fit. These are billionaires. They understand something that broke people pretending to be rich don't. A car is not an investment. It's not an asset that grows. It's an expense. And smart people minimize expenses while maximizing investments. All right, here's what you're going to do today. Not tomorrow, today. Calculate your actual car cost. Add up everything: payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, registration, divided by your monthly gross income. What percentage is it? Write that number down. Look at your car's value versus your income. Is your car worth more than 50% of your annual income? If yes, you need an exit plan. Run the numbers. Use a loan calculator to see how much you're actually paying in interest over the life of your loan. Get angry about it. Use that anger. Make a decision. Are you keeping this car and attacking the loan, or are you selling it and downgrading? Pick one today. Start your car fund. Even if you're still paying off your current car, start putting $50 or $100 a month into a separate savings account for your next car. Build the habit now. Most Americans are broke not because they don't make enough money, but because they spend too much money on things that don't matter. And for most people, the biggest thing that doesn't matter is sitting in their driveway. You cannot drive yourself to wealth in a financed car. It has never happened. It will never happen. The math doesn't work. But here's the good news. You can change this today, right now. You can decide that you're not going to be part of the statistic that works until 67 just to afford car payments. You can decide that your car is a tool, not a status symbol. You can decide to build wealth instead of building payments. I know it's not easy. I know your friends might not get it. I know you might feel like you're downgrading when you sell that expensive car and buy something modest. But in 5 years, in 10 years, when you're financially free and they're still making payments, you'll understand what real success looks like. It doesn't look like a $60,000 car. It looks like freedom. Now go do the math on your own situation. Get angry at how much money you're wasting and make a change. Your future self will thank you. If this video helped you see cars differently, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your car costing you as a percentage of income? Let's hold each other accountable. I'm Rihan, and I'll see you in the next one.